For me personally, literature and being literate always had something to do with reading voluntarily and reading whatever I want to read and enjoy the reading. Just forget about everyday life. For me, even people who just read literature that is considered as being chick lit or mainstream literature, they're also literate because they read what they're interested in, and it doesn't have anything to do with reading high literature. I think the most important thing is just that you read and that you read what you're interested in, and I think then you can be considered as literate. My story about literacy has something to do with trying to impress others and pretending to be literate. When I started to study English and German literature, I considered myself as literate. But when I first talked to other students about books, other people intimidated me by telling how much they love high literature and how much they love to read and how many works they've already read. And I suddenly felt very small and doubted that I'm literate. The way others talked about it and thought about literature was not the way I was used to it. But let me show you what I mean.
Yesterday I finished my drama.
Oh, what was it?
It was the Shakespearean drama Othello.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, you should definitely read it. I mean, I've read so many novels and dramas, and I especially like Shakespearean dramas.
I know it, yeah. I've read different translations, but I like the later ones better.
Yeah, because I mean they're so complex and it's so hard to understand the meaning of it, you know. You have to really dig down deep in it.
That's right, yeah. You have to be very clever to understand it, but once you get it, it really makes a difference in your life. I think it's very important to read everything when you study literature, and especially high literature.
Yeah, I mean, especially for me, I'm studying English and I want to become a teacher, so I think you really have to get to know all the contents of those literature pieces.
How can you expect your students to know it if you don't know it yourself?
Yeah.
So I'm already really pissed off with people who show off because they read Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And they think they're clever, you know what I mean?
I always wonder what do they get out of Harry Potter. I mean, that's not the truth, and I mean, Rowling never goes beyond that point like Shakespeare does. So.
No, you definitely should read Shakespeare and all that stuff.
So, why do you study literature? What do you like to read?
I mean, literature is so important, I think. In general, like for education, I want to become an English teacher, and therefore I think I have to be an idol for students that I read those novels. Otherwise, I wouldn't be comfortable like walking into the classroom and read with them a literary piece, which I haven't really read by myself. And this is why I want to read as many literary pieces as possible to feel comfortable. And in general, I think it's I mean, reading literature is not just increasing your knowledge, it's beyond that point. I think you can get so much out of literature, like personal relation, you really develop a personal connection to a lot of characters that you read in those literary pieces. And in another sense, I think it's also that you kind of increase your general education knowledge.
I like to read just stories that I feel kind of attracted to when I read the back of the book, and I think, yeah, this book can be very good. But I don't really read high literature in my free time, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I mean, at least you read.
I think for me, reading and writing is very important, but still I think the pressure that society can put you under when you're a student of literature or whatever can kind of take away the fun factor of the whole thing. And for me, reading always has something to do with being captivated by a story, and it shouldn't have something to do with fighting for appreciation of other people and being considered as literate. Because if you just enumerate all the high literature works you've read in your life, it might mislead other people and might help you to be considered literate, but you cannot mislead yourself, so I don't think that it makes any sense.